Hello, Neil Amy here. This is another Rayobyte story. Today I have with me Ken Kauski. He is the founder of WTFProxy. And yes, the name is explained later on. Ken is such a cool and multifaceted guy. And this episode goes all over the place in a really cool and interesting way, from his childhood days of video game botting to now leading an ethical proxy company. So I hope you enjoyed this as much as I do. Thank you for listening. Okay, and we're live. Ken, hi. Thank you for being here. My name is Neil Amy. I'm the CEO founder of Rayobyte, and with me today I have Ken. Is it Kauski? Am I saying that right?
With Kauksi.
Uh-huh.
Well, in Estonian it's Kauksi, but yeah, it's difficult name to pronounce in
Uh-huh.
this language.
Okay. And you're the founder, and are you CEO, or what's your official title at WTF Proxy?
Yeah, we are just a bootstrap small company, so
Sure.
it's
Titles, right?
startup, so kind of do everything.
Yeah, yeah, I get it. So yeah, tell about so Ken has a proxy company just like Railbyte, and WTF Proxy uses some of Railbyte services, so that's how we got kind of engaged. And as I started talking with Ken more and more, just one thing after the next, I found how we aligned on our values and how we want to run our businesses and to be responsible businesses. And so maybe just tell the audience what WTF Proxy does and like what type of customers you're serving.
So I started this company because of other bigger goal, but well, maybe I have to talk about this bigger goal before that, so it's easier to understand. But I'm interested in creating this AVS kind of thing, but decentralized, and want people to be able to share the compute resources. But we thought that proxy would be easy to get started with, so we can create demand before we release our application that people can install. And so we started from that. And proxy itself is not the end goal, but just a starting point.
Yeah. And I remember in one of our chats, you brought up Golem Network, which is one that I'd seen before too. And I kid you not, this is the same idea I've had for so long. I think about it in this way, which is there are so many computers in the world, millions, if not billions, of computing devices that are sitting there idle, which could be used instead of us producing more and more compute power. The compute power is already there for the world. What about tapping into it in terms of a decentralized or crowdsourced model? Is that essentially what you're aiming
Yes,
for in that?
yes, exactly. Because uh, I think many people know about Ethereum mining with graphics
Yeah.
cards, millions and millions of graphic cards, just heating
Yeah.
heating the planet basically, just to do what calculate hashes
Yeah. Right.
to secure Ethereum network. Uh, Sounds kind of stupid, and now we have a problem that we have AI, and companies just cannot buy enough graphics cards to
Yeah.
train these AI models, which are actually, I find these AI models are way more useful. And so
Yeah.
we have millions upon millions of graphics cards just sitting idle uh, from the miners that were doing it for money, and Microsoft pouring tens of billions into OpenAI, AI,
Yeah.
and AI companies like that, Nvidia. Like it's just like I just don't understand why anyone haven't really done this.
Yeah. Me neither.
Column network problem is that I am a developer myself. I do use different cloud services. I have looked into Column myself, but the problem is that you can't really do much with the service.
Uh-huh. And what do you mean by that? How is it
Yeah.
unusable?
So they have basically JavaScript runtime and Python runtime.
Hmm.
Latest I checked.
Uh-huh.
and you
So
can
like
just
someone on Windows wouldn't be able to install that, and just like a normal consumer couldn't install that on their computer, or can they?
uh, no, I mean, as a developer, I'm fine running through hooks.
Right.
Normal people can set up the node, but I just can't see what developers would do with the service because
Hmm.
it's
Oh, I
limited.
see.
You cannot make outside requests.
Yeah.
So I did check if I could use their nodes as
A
proxy on
proxy.
it,
Yeah.
but
Right.
but
Right. I
but
looked into it too. Right. Yeah.
they don't allow that. And I
Yeah.
think if I make a service, I'm not sure if they have like IP address that is available outside, or how people could connect to that. So it's like compute for
Yeah.
you don't I don't see many services using compute without internet access. So
Yeah. Right. Right.
so
Running some big calculations or giving it a math problem, and then it sits there and tries to solve it maybe internally, and then they can spit out some answer.
yeah. So but you have to then. I think the network is not that useful for people,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. And I see also, like, I spent a lot of time looking at it, and it doesn't seem very popular. That's probably probably for the
it's popular.
reason.
It's popular because it's crypto, and people are like
Well, sure, of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
gambling on it. But I would
yeah,
just like to want to do something useful, and being developer, I constantly deploy applications online. Um, all applications are containerized, like
yeah,
Docker, and basically, if you want to train AI, you also Dockerize your like pipeline and
yeah.
do it horizontally.
Right.
Was it horizontal
Yeah,
scaling?
yeah, yeah. Horizontal scaling. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because even open AI, you can't do it on one graphics card.
Right,
So,
right,
what I would like to do is a Kubernetes cluster where
right.
basically everyone join, and for their contribution they get crypto. This I see like how the crypto was supposed to be from the first place, where people
Right.
can just join in, do their part, and get rewarded for that.
Yeah, yeah. And so, yeah, for the listeners, if I were to summarize all that, it would be, as a listener, we're all consumers. We all have our laptops. I'm looking at my Dell laptop right in front of me right now. You could install Ken's future idea on your laptop. By installing that application, it would allow a developer somewhere in the world to use your laptop to do, let's say, AI modeling, to help companies like OpenAI or Cloud or et cetera to provide the AI value that they provide to the world right now. Is that the TLDR?
Yeah, pretty much. Like there are some applications now that you can install that do share your bandwidth. That do
Uh,
with which is what we're doing because it's pretty easy. But I've checked. I think most applications don't really provide that much value. It's possible to use better technology that we have available now. It's possible that people could install the software and actually make impact.
yeah, right, right, right. And so today you're doing proxies, so people can install your application and offer themselves as a proxy.
Today we're not offering proxy application. We
Okay.
did start building that, and I have prototype, but I
Yeah.
think
Cool.
it's not well. My goal a lot bigger, and I think it
Uh-huh.
would just take too much time to just go that path.
Right, right. So you're starting by selling proxies first, and then eventually offering a proxy application, and then eventually to the
Uh,
crowdsourced computing.
this was the plan first, but
Yeah,
now we're just going with Kubernetes.
yeah.
So people just join the
Okay.
Kubernetes cluster,
Yeah.
and it will be so much easier because then they can share all the resources, not just the IP address.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So, what's your background that makes this all possible? You said you're a developer. What were you working on before you started this project and this idea?
Well, I've been like self self learned. Uh,
Yeah.
I've been developing like this side projects for maybe 10 years. I started
Yeah.
with RuneScape,
Yeah.
playing
Okay.
this game, but it
Yeah.
was quite boring to play because you have to spend hundreds and hundreds of hours. And
Yeah.
so I find a bot to play for me,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
and
man.
then I learned that you can make money with it.
Yeah.
But I was young. I didn't have much money, but I want like $10 per instance. But
Yeah.
I want to run like 10 bot at time, and then maybe 20, 30. So I figured that too expensive. So I
Yeah.
learned how to make my own bot.
Yeah. How old were you when you did this?
About 18, 19.
Okay, this is crazy. I have to pause you here because I had no idea about this. We obviously haven't talked about that in the business context that we've talked. So I too am a game botter. The game that I bought it. Well, I grew up playing, but also same kind of thing. To level up, to collect items, gold. You have to hunt for hours and hours and hours. The game I play is called Conquer Online. It was a big Chinese game, but they brought it into the U.S. Millions and millions of players.
I know this game. I played a
Did,
bit.
did you? Okay, yeah. So I did the same kind of thing. There were bots you could buy, not as much, but then there was a lot of free ones, and they did things or did nice things, but they didn't do exactly what I wanted. And so I kind of started my programming. It was using a scripting language called AutoIt, which would create kind of macros, but it also had programmatic functionality. And so yeah, I built bots for myself to just auto hunt and auto gather gold and same thing. I gave those bots away for free too. I got a lot of joy and passion out of just writing the bots and saying, "Hey, everyone, you can have it too." And it was cool. That's kind of got started in my journey.
I think I see many people that start like that.
Uh,
The game RuneScape, it have like this grand exchange, and there I learn about like you can trade, buy and sell items, and
right.
you can just buy cheaper, sell higher, and it
Yeah.
very similar to stock market. And I see
Yeah.
like many people have said in interviews that yeah, I played RuneScape, and that's why I start trading and go into
Uh-huh.
these
Yeah.
things. And my brother played World of Warcraft,
Yeah.
and
Right.
then I didn't play that, but then he
Me
looked
neither.
like I bought in RuneScape, and he told me like, here we could do this. He know this game. Can I make a
Yeah.
bot for him? And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
then we make a bot for World of Warcraft and make
Yeah.
some money from there. It
Yeah.
was really cool, but nowadays I do see how much money is possible to make with the bots. But I grew up playing this game, and after I start botting and like thinking about money, I don't enjoy the game anymore. Like
Same. Exactly. I
today
don't.
I
I don't
don't,
play games anymore. Yeah. I don't play any RPGs,
and
MMORPGs.
and I miss that. Like
Me
it,
too.
it
Me
was not
too.
worth it.
Right, right. Yeah, I have a perfect. My brother too. He was older than me, and we played all these games together. He wasn't as interested in the programming side. I built the bots, and I also like on the like the marketplace in the game. I learned how to buy and sell just manually, like negotiating with people. So I learned business, and to this day, my brother still enjoys playing World of Warcraft, for example. And I don't play any video games because I think I killed the fun out of it, and I took it too far to the business, and now here I am.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's good to have some money, but jealous about the.
Right. The life lesson here, I think, for anyone listening is don't kill the fun. I think there's if you've seen the movie Step Brothers, one of the best comedies of all time, in my opinion. The dad tells Brennan at the very end of the movie, he says, "Brennan, don't lose your dinosaur." Because Brennan grows up to be an adult, and the dad doesn't like him seeing him being an adult, and he just wants him to be a kid again. So,
Mm.
yeah,
I did see this really cool like short. Try if I can reproduce it here on the chat.
uh-huh.
But if I offer you $10 million, would you take it?
Yeah. For what?
No, I give you $10 million. Would you take it?
Of course, if it's free,
Yes.
no strings
And of
attached.
course.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. The catch is you don't wake up tomorrow.
Uh-huh. No, no, no way. I wouldn't take it.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, waking up tomorrow worth more than 10 million.
Right, right, exactly, exactly. And how
Yeah.
do you apply that? How do you apply that in your life? How do you see that applied, like more broadly?
Well, I see this like short today, but it
Yeah,
did make me think. And over the time, I've learned that more money doesn't make you happier.
yeah,
It like grow up quite poor. We have cows,
yeah, yeah,
like farm, like but very small one.
yeah,
But I grow up with people I like, and then start working in IT sector at some point. Then everyone I know gets so far, like they have
yeah,
problem, and then it's hard to find new people.
yeah,
And then there's like somewhere in the middle that you can't go out to places that you want to go because friends can't afford.
yeah.
And then you say, okay, I buy for you. They don't want that because then they
Yeah,
feel bad,
right.
and then you
Yeah,
just get further away from the people you're close to. And so this why I think it's not that important.
yeah, yeah. You brought up like like growing up. You said you grew up poor. Did that have any influence on choosing tech? Was tech like, or what
Yes.
was your interest in tech? I know the video games. That's kind of brought me into the tech side, but
I did start with video game when I was 13 or 12.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
first
yeah,
game when it started, I think it's 2003 or 2002 started. I think I made my account 2003 or 4. So
yeah,
I did
yeah,
grow up with the game, and I still watch videos about other people playing and
yeah,
put in hundreds of hours, but it just
yeah,
don't not possible
yeah,
for me. I did play that game. I think that's mostly because I go to library to play the game. I
yeah,
go like everywhere, and then I just like challenges, puzzles. I think how to when I look at something, I think how it works.
yeah,
I see TV. I think what's inside there. I've seen many TVs already, so I know what's inside TVs. But I see something new. I start thinking how it works. And computers, well, endless problems.
yeah.
So
Right, right. Forever, and
the
then it just gets more and more.
programming is like the whole job is like every 2 minutes you have another problem that you have to solve, and
Right,
we
right.
just got stuck on that.
And we create new problems for ourselves as society and technology too. I mean, good problems. That's how we've evolved and innovated as human beings. But then we're always solving more, which is what's elevated us, I think.
I'm still working full time for another company because bootstrapping company is not that
Yeah.
easy.
Oh, you are okay. What do you do for that company?
Programming, CTO.
Okay.
I've
Yeah.
been
Okay.
working with them for about 5 years.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
went to Spain and then asked people if they can, like, from Facebook group that already live in Spain,
Uh huh.
asked them like if they could uh, recommend a good place to stay.
Yeah.
And I told that I'm not worried about work because I work from laptop as
Yeah.
developer. And then this dude tell me that, come to Marbella
Uh
and
huh.
I will give you a job.
Wow. That's simple. As CTO, nevertheless.
No, no, then I was not CTO.
Uh.
That was 5 years ago. Then I didn't
Okay.
actually, I hadn't done anything professionally.
Yeah.
I started just offering, I help you, whatever, like forums, things like that, that
Yeah.
you have some problem, I help.
Yeah.
And I was just confident in myself. I had only done one thing for a customer.
Yeah.
Uh, it
Oh, wow.
was it was like I got 60 euros for that, But I was
Yeah.
just, yeah, I'm not worried about work. I'm a developer. I go to Spain, and then I got offer,
Wow.
and for it was pretty good salary too for the position.
Yeah.
And
What does the company do?
they do affiliate marketing,
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's my other background too. SEO,
and
affiliate marketing, internet marketing.
I don't really like what the company does, so I always try to get to the point where I can quit and get
Yeah.
working on
Yeah.
the things I love to do.
Right. As everyone. Right. Right. You said something earlier. You said something earlier that I want to talk about. So you said like money doesn't buy happiness. I mean, that's a tagline if there ever was one, and one that I completely agree with. And it reminded me of some things that we've talked about in Slack a bit about. Well, you brought up earlier. You said crypto mining. If you're listening between the lines, if the audience is, I heard you say that what's the point of mining for Ethereum? It's just wasting heat. It's hurting our environment for what? To solve some problems that it's like that's so there's an environmental impact. And then we've talked about a couple other things. One thing in the context of our business is as proxy providers. In the proxy industry, for those who may not know, proxies are used for the full, let's say it this way, the full breadth of the spectrum between completely illegal things and completely legal things. There's Fortune 5, every Fortune 500 company is using proxies, and they're doing data scraping of some kind. But then you also will read in the news about proxies being used. You'll hear the terms like botnet or DDoS or even malware, and that's the illegal side of the spectrum. And one thing that has happened in our relationship, which is not, we haven't been working together super long, but immediately it seemed like you connected with Rayobyte's values, which is we want to be the most ethical provider in the industry because it matters. We don't have to. There's a big gray middle area in proxies where you can let people like, okay, it's not illegal by the law, but what they're doing is spamming or not hacking. That's illegal. But there's so many great use cases, and what we've taken a stance as Rayobyte is no, there's a better way to do this. It's just saying no to those people, let them go to the other companies, and then we do our part trying to bring the industry up and inspire other people in our industry to be ethical as well too. And you responded to one of my emails talking about this, and you said, I completely resonate with this, Neil. And that was awesome to hear because there's few proxy companies, few proxy owners who believe that. They want the money because the money's in that middle 80% gray area. There's a 10% black, there's the 10% white, or even bigger, I think, on the white, but pretty big on the black. But there's a big chunk of money in the gray, which is not illegal, but it's unethical. And so many companies take that, but you said you resonated differently. Tell me about that. Tell me where that comes from, and maybe just share your thoughts on it.
Well, if you search our brand Google, then you can see that we started in black markets offering
Mm-hmm.
proxies,
Mm-hmm.
but just figured that not like a long term viable business.
Yeah.
Figured that yeah, maybe can get customers, but in the end, you're gonna be responsible for that, and
Yeah.
just didn't see it work out, and
Yeah.
it's just not something I'm into doing. So we changed our policies, everything to be better about that. And right now we have like verification. Like if we give free bandwidth to test, but you have to verify your identity to
Yeah.
get that free bandwidth. This also
Describe
so
that. Describe that real quick. What kind of verification do your customers have to
uh,
go through?
if they want free bandwidth, they can buy.
Yeah.
Then they don't have to, but
Yeah.
they can get blocked, and then they will have to get verified if they have like this too um, weird or like I English not my mother tongue. I
That's
forget
okay.
the word, but yeah, weird.
If their use case
I
or their
think
sign up information looks not
then
matches or
type of
otherwise.
verification. But we
Yeah,
do
right.
verification through Verif.
Yeah.
Uh,
So Verif is a know your customer type platform that
yeah,
automatically asks for their passport.
yeah,
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
exactly. I think in this chat didn't mention that I'm from Estonia,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
and Verif is from Estonia, so
Oh,
we
okay,
use
cool.
their service because it seem to be best on the market.
Yeah.
And Estonia have multiple big names come
Uh-huh.
out of unicorns like
Hmm.
Vice, Skype. So I
Oh yeah.
think many Estonians are like into computers and internet.
Yeah. 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 Cool.
There's even possible to get e-residency that you can get like ID card. That
Yeah.
basically means that you are well. My partner is in Netherlands,
Yeah.
and he get e-residency because we do business together and have to share the company, so have to sign all the papers, everything. But he can
Hmm.
just to do it at his own home. He don't have to
Hmm.
fly over
Right. Right. Right.
because otherwise I would have to fly to Netherlands or he would like
Yeah.
to fly to Estonia and I'm in Thailand. So
Yeah. Yeah.
in that sense, like there's Estonia very still innovative that
Yeah.
you
Modern.
can
I
do
would say.
do so much of your life you can just do online that you don't
Yeah.
have
That's
to go
amazing.
right.
Yeah, I'm from the U.S. I live in the Netherlands now. I'm from the U.S. and moving now to the Netherlands. I'm observing, especially their banking system. Everything is digital in the banking system. The apps, the moving money is just like it's a 30-second process. In the U.S., like we still just have like this archaic hoops you have to jump through to send or receive money. So there's a company called Venmo, which is kind of the main provider in the US. Like it's not standardized by the banks, which is just crazy. So there's like a monopoly on this one company that allows easier sending and receiving. And yeah, it's cool to hear Estonia
And
seems ahead of its
I've
time too.
never been to US, but I always wanted to go. So and I've been really interested in what's happening there. Of course, I watch a lot of YouTube and interesting topics for me, but almost most of the creators are from US, so I'm quite
Yeah.
know quite a lot about politics, about tech there.
Oh yeah.
Since you come from there, I would like to ask, like, is it true that they're still using magnetic stripes on the bank cards and checks
Very very widespread still. Yep. I gotta
paper checks?
Yes, yes. My sorry, mom, if you're listening to this, my mom still uses paper checks, and my brother, who works for our company too, we're a tech company, we're like, Mom, you have to get online. She's like, No, I just like checks. So like our whole system still works on that. One, and then yeah, we got a company debit card the other day from one of our banks we use, and it doesn't have a chip. It's just this actual magnetic strip. So that just shows you how far behind
That's
U.S. is.
actually pretty crazy to hear that. But now,
Yeah.
currently, I came to Thailand, which is
Yeah.
almost other side of the world from Estonia, like 12,000 or 14,000 or I don't 12,000 was the last. I think it's almost 20,000 kilometers.
Yeah.
So pretty much
Yeah.
around the world. And I come here like because they say cheap. I think
Yeah.
there are no technology or anything that like things are bad or like.
Yeah.
But I come here, learn that high speed internet. Same,
Yeah.
they have like a go store. They do like this QR code payments.
Oh,
Like,
right. Right.
or you just
Incredible.
point your camera to that, show them that you do the payment, all done
Yeah.
everywhere. You go.
Yeah.
Metro, like yeah, it's
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
not
Yeah. Well, sorry for I got us down that tangent. I asked about Verif, the KYC, coming back to like the ethics on the proxy side, because
yes.
there's a really big point that I will tie into our Rayobyte story too that you shared at the beginning. So your customers go through Verif, which is a know your customer, just like a bank. When anyone goes to a bank, they usually have to go through a KYC, and know your customer. You fill out information, provide your ID or passport, and that lets them use your service. So it's a big hurdle that it is costing you business as a company, but you've chosen that ethically. That is where you want to be at. You're good. The people who are more shady and don't want to disclose their personal information to use proxies, well, they go somewhere else, unfortunately. And I
just
think that's it.
a lot of ambition, and I think this long term it doesn't bring me anywhere. So I'd rather
Right.
not, rather keep away from trouble.
Exactly right, and so you brought up. I'll tell you, it was very admirable for you to admit, like, hey, we kind of started selling more to the gray area of people when we first started. Because again, I said that like that's where the money is. I mean, like it's easy to sell to those people because there's plenty of them that can't sign up for other services. Well, I will admit, Railbyte on day one, I wasn't thinking about this either. It was just like, oh, hey, you want to use our IPs to go spam some backlinks online for your SEO. I was doing SEO, and I was even kind of spamming back in the day too, admittedly. And that's where we start. That's where we start as a company. And I think, I mean, it took us longer than what it's taken you. It sounds like you're early into this, and you said, wait a minute, this isn't it. And that inspires me that you made the decision to hurt your revenue for the long view, the long term, which is being an ethical, responsible, sustainable company.
For me, it seems a really easy conclusion to come to.
Right, you would think, but then you look at all the dang competitors, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? What are you guys
Uh,
doing out there?"
we well, we have looked at, because basically what we're doing, we're resellers, and we have
Yeah.
tested like every competitor,
Uh
like
huh.
big the pool is, how many different IPs, like where, from which country, and the results are quite bad.
Yeah.
So I, I'm not sure if like there is that those so good providers for these black hat people.
Right. 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 Well, hopefully, and that's like it's our job to push the industry upward to require more KYC and we can. It's all of our jobs as like responsible business people to make that happen. So yeah, that's awesome. I'm still on a bigger topic here. So we talked about your concern for the environment on the heating side of crypto mining. That's obvious. There's plenty of studies out there to show the damages of that. Two, you're doing the ethical side of proxies, which is, in my opinion, rare. Most competitors don't require such strict vetting for new customers like you do, and like Rayobyte does as well too. And then three, it just happened. Like I don't know how this naturally came out. Like our Slack chat was maybe, I don't know, 20 messages, and all this came out in one, which is just so awesome to know we resonate and relate with each other, our value system so much. You said that you guys, I don't know if it was your company or you said it's a different project, donated to support Ukraine. At Railbyte, for anyone who's listening, we have about 16 people full time in Ukraine since the start of the company. The first person I hired was a Ukrainian person, and so we've been supporting them all along. And I have strong opinions about helping them. And you just said that kind of in passing. Oh yeah, I also donated thousands of dollars to Ukraine too. I mean, it's like, wow, what is? I mean, it's like we're the same company, we're the same people. Tell me about your passion for that.
Uh, so we had this crypto project, and we just well, we actually put in that some revenue go to charity, like
Yeah,
from we sold NFTs,
yeah,
and we put in this that some goes to charity for marketing, to be
yeah,
honest.
yeah, yeah,
But we did put that aside. It didn't sell out like we hoped, but it was pretty good. And so we had some money like put aside for the charity, but we couldn't really find the correct one
yeah,
that we want to support. And then the money sit on the account. I think it was around $3,000 that we gathered,
yeah,
and it sat on the account for a long time. And then the war break out in Ukraine, and I just told to my partner that you see we have this money for charity. Should we send it to Ukraine? And
Yeah.
he was like, yes, of course. Ukraine is in Europe, and Estonia is actually next to Russia, and
Yeah. Right.
Estonia was once under Russia's control.
Right.
Uh, it actually got its freedom back in 1992.
Right.
So
Yeah.
for many people, they still remember that time.
Right. Right.
I was born
Yeah.
92.
Right. Right. And so
And,
it sounds like, I mean, your family, the country, I assume is supporting of Ukraine, or I mean, I'm sure it's divided. I'm sure Estonia, like most border countries, probably have a Russian influence. That there's a split between it, but
there's about, I think, maybe 40% of the people in Estonia are Russian,
yeah, right there
but
you go. Right,
don't put that like anywhere right down because, but I think it feels
yeah,
like
yeah,
that
sure,
when you're
sure,
there because you hear so much Russian.
yeah, yeah. And you chose to support Ukraine. What called you to do that? Why did you feel that your money to go there versus some other charity around the world, or something else?
Russia's border at that time was 100 kilometers from my home.
Yeah, yeah, right, right,
So if Russia can go through with that, go conquer Ukraine,
right.
they would
Then
go next to the other countries that were under USSR control at that time, and Estonia is very close,
yeah, yeah, right, right,
and it just felt something that could actually make any difference
right,
because a lot
right,
of charities are set up. You send them money, you don't know where it go,
right, right,
and maybe someone just take and give 1% to the cause.
right,
So
right.
then we, and
And
they
that's
also took crypto payment that we had in crypto.
Oh, sure. Right.
So
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, you bring up that point about, maybe our amount isn't all that much. Maybe our percentage is not that much, or sometimes we don't know if it's going to go to good use or not. But what we found with our leadership team is we spent so much time debating how to give to do social responsibility, whether it's Ukraine or not, before the war, during the war, and I finally kind of just had this realization. I told our leadership team, I said, guys, we're causing ourselves analysis paralysis, and by just going in circles about what we should do, we were afraid that by donating to one cause, like regardless of Ukraine or not, but donating to one cause, then we may offend customers or employees who may support a different cause, or maybe don't agree with this cause, and like, well, let's not do that and that. And what ended up happening is we didn't do anything. And I was like, guys, I would rather do something good for the world than do nothing at all. And if we're doing good, and someone wants to judge that, then perhaps they're not the right customer or employee for our company. And taking a stance like the Ukraine, when we did, so we just did a big campaign in February where we got donations, and we also donated 1% of our revenue for that month, as well as donations we pushed out. um, we shared it with our customers. We said, "Hey, everybody, like, we're doing this. We care about the war. Here's our stance on it." And we had some people respond. There were some customers who, it was clearly Russian. He replied in Russian, or his Gmail is Russian, and that's okay. We have employees in Russia, so like who don't support the war, and that's what means to us. But this guy, he replied. He said, "You're so biased, and you believe in the propaganda of what's going on." And it's just like well, I'm not here to good. You're not the customer we want to work with. If you want to have your own opinions, you have them, but you're not the customer for us. See you later. And taking a stance means something, I believe, in business today. And I think too many companies are just sitting on their asses trying not to offend anybody, and therefore they don't do anything about it. And I'm curious if you think, how you see the state of things in that regard.
I have VTF in my company name. So
Yeah,
many people ask, maybe I want to change that, but I
Yeah,
never said to anyone what it actually mean. They just assume,
yeah,
and people can assume what they want. I don't know enough about Russia and Ukraine war, so I don't say that Russia aggressor or Ukraine like. I just donate because I see there is a need, because I
yeah,
see
right.
they are being attacked, and I don't look at news that much.
Yeah, same.
I just try to do my own thing and don't take a stance. But if if there is something, I've learned that two times I tried to quit my job,
Uh-huh.
and then they double my salary. So
Huh.
this is how I still work with them for 5 years. But 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 turn out that if you feel strong about something and you're not afraid to say it, then people start respecting you more.
Yes, right.
And now, before I go to work meeting and just sit there with everyone else and listen and try to make a good face. So then today, I just tell them I'm not coming to meeting today, and they are just happy that I work with them,
Yeah,
because they know that the company is not doing something useful. Only thing they have to offer is money,
yeah,
and that starts to matter less and less.
yeah. Right, right. If I heard you maybe say, speaking up, authenticity. And so, and you said people question you on your brand name. I'll say it in the English way. I know our European, you say VTF, we say WTF, the WTF proxy is Ken's company's name. And you're right. I assume people like look at that probably and like judge it, like, oh, what's that name about? But I heard you say, and maybe share a little bit more. Like you said, like, I don't care, or or that people are assuming what it means. Does it mean something else than what one would assume what WTF means?
No, I haven't. We haven't really put a label on it.
Yeah,
Uh, we started with my partner. He is like a designer, uh,
yeah,
and yeah, UX. He,
yeah,
d- we met working as freelancers, like did a project together, and then next time someone offer me projects, I say like he could be the designer, and then we could get talking, and we have been friends for maybe 4 years now.
oh, cool.
And actually, I have only seen him once in a video call for maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Reminds
Uh,
me of my
uh,
early days.
but is one of my best friends, and I think one of the people that I do trust most,
Yeah,
even when we have never met.
yeah,
So, so it's very interesting that you can find people,
yeah,
friends online that you can't find in real life.
yeah, yeah. My story is very similar. When I started the company, I just hired freelancers and freelancers at the freelancers, and some are with me from almost the very beginning. And I was very shy and introverted myself, and I don't remember having a video call for probably maybe the first like 2 years of business, maybe like one or two, because we use a Ukrainian outsourced agency for a lot of our guys, and we've used them since day one. And I had like a video call early on, like one time, but everything else just was like text between them. And as we started hiring CS people, marketing, like I was too shy to do video calls. And there's a bit of an irony to it because proxies help hide your anonymity. And so I always find that this kind of ironic and funny. That like I just didn't want to have video calls. I don't want to talk to people. Just write to me. So thanks for being here today. Also,
Yeah. Coming back to the name, it was
yeah,
he was a UI UX. I was developer. We always have many ideas, and
yeah,
so we think about this bigger project, and he come up with the idea that maybe we should make a proxy site and get some customers before we release our program. So that when
Right.
they install the program, then we can start paying them. And so that's how it was born. But he come up with all the design already. I
Yeah.
already make website, but we still don't have name. And
Ah,
that he just put as a placeholder.
it's WTF. Yeah. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna put there?
Yeah, and so I make the website already, and he's like,
Yeah.
that's a placeholder, and then we try to figure out name, and we
There's
can't.
like, right.
Uh,
That's the season.
Whatever, and
Yeah.
and I also think it's memorable, and it doesn't matter what your brand name is, as long as people will start to trust it,
Right.
since you give a good service.
Right. Right.
Because
Right. Yeah.
people just put your trust into you, and other people recommend, then
Right.
it doesn't matter what your brand name is. I
Right.
remember so many times I see people that want to start business ask from me like, how do you start business, and I tell them just start, and
So yeah.
and
Start selling.
and people get stuck, and what's my brand name,
Yeah.
and they cannot create a company because they don't know what they put as their company name, because they get this paralysis like
Yeah.
like this is the important thing. It's not,
Yeah.
because you start doing business. If the name is not good, you just create another one and change it.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it's right there. I was gonna say. So we had. I started the company, and our proxy company was called Blazing SEO, which like I didn't even think about it then. I was maybe too naive. Like later in the years, people are like, oh, does blazing mean you're smoking pot or something? Like what? No, no. It was like blazing fast, but like people take their own interpretation, and it was Blazing SEO, and we sold proxies. So then what we got all the time, and we were having conversations with enterprise customers until we rebranded, and people were like, so you're an SEO company, and it's confusing, but we had thousands of customers, millions of dollars under this brand name for about 3 4 years, and 5 years. We finally rebranded 2 years ago to Rayobyte after a big effort. But that's proof in the pudding right there that it doesn't matter. People thought we were an SEO company, yet we became one of the top proxy companies just by offering good quality product.
yeah, I think we can rebrand anytime. Like when we broaden our horizons, it's just
Yeah,
people already know what to search. Like
yeah,
the most
that's an
search.
easy one to remember too.
And so as long as we don't need to particularly change it, I don't think there's any company or any person that need our service come tell me that, yeah, I don't buy your service because of your name.
Yeah,
He can
right,
try.
right.
He can come to my offering. He can verify his identity and try for free. So,
Yeah,
and if you don't like it, yeah,
right,
sure.
right. If anything, it's going to catch people. It's going to intrigue people. Like, oh, that was interesting, or oh, that's bold. Maybe people, and like you've now got like a differentiator just on the brand level than of other companies who name themselves maybe more simple, smart proxy, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, cool. Well, we're coming up here on an hour, Ken. This has been awesome, dude. I didn't expect it to go this way, and I'm so pleased. I mean, for anyone listening, literally, Ken and I have probably had like maybe 20 messages in Slack before this call, and I've never met him in person. I've never had a video, and it's so cool to hear how our brands align, but also just it seems like our personal value system and our stories back to the video game botting and bringing me back to Conquer Online. I mean, it's so cool. To close us down, Ken, do you have any parting thoughts about? I mean, maybe about your business, or you had some awesome, one-liners in there about money doesn't buy happiness. Do what makes you happy. Just start, for business. I'm curious, like, if there's a way that you could summarize where you're at in life and where to go next, just for inspiration to the audience.
Don't try too hard.
Ah,
Yeah,
explain.
I tried. I just wanted to do what everyone else told me that I should do. Uh, when I finally said, you know, I'm not willing to do what everyone else is like saying to me, then I could get double my salary 2 times. Uh,
Yeah.
then I just come to Thailand. I was before in Estonia. I was actually planning to kill myself because I was so stressed, and I came here in January. This is why I don't want to leave because I'm just this whole time I'm just happy
Yeah.
because I'm
Wow.
just doing what I want because I just said, enough
Yeah.
bullshit and just do what you feel is right, and it will change your life.
Good things will happen. Yeah. Wow. Thanks for sharing that. Truly. Well, thank you so much, Ken. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And this has been awesome.
Yes, thank you. Didn't
Bye
expect it to
bye.
go so well.
Yeah.
Bye.